What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Again, I have my esteemed guest, Funeral Man, the Hidden Gem.
Yeah,
Welcome, my brother.
know it is.
What's good? What's good?
Yeah.
And I wanted to take some time to set this show up, Reese, because this is really the biggest topic in hip hop in a long time. I would even say it overshadows the Kendrick Drake beef for this year, and that's the P Diddy Rico case that dropped. What was it, about a month ago, where Diddy was formally indicted, 14-page indictment on racketeering, Rico statutes. Of course, there's sex trafficking involved. There's sexual abuse. There's a whole bunch of, running guns with serial numbers, a whole bunch of things Diddy is in jail for now and awaiting trial. And I just wanted to set this up right because there's so many layers to this. And I wanted to use piece of a reaction to Dead End Hip Hop, who basically asked, how is this going to affect hip hop overall and affect our hip hop icons? But they really wanted to focus on Jay-Z. And that's going to be the first part of this that we're going to talk about, is the Jay-Z tie-in to this Diddy case, tie-in or non-tie-in, if you will, that's going on in the media now, the Jay-Z is next campaign, if you will. And then we're going to get into how the Diddy case is going to affect other hip-hop icons or other hip-hop artists using this as a means to tear down other hip-hop icons like Jay-Z. Are they using that? So we're going to talk about it all, and we're going to use this reaction to Dead End Hip Hop on what they think of the whole Diddy case and how it affects hip hop and the hip hop culture overall. But I just want to make like an opening statement, really, Reese. Like I really wanted to just basically, the one thing that I think, and I want to get your take on it too, that I think what's kind of a shame, and I've noticed this online, in the online chat rooms, in the online hip hop blogs, online hip hop discussion groups on Facebook, instead of people using this as a platform to really acknowledge the victims, acknowledge sexual abuse, acknowledge that there's a problem in the community and in hip hop about, abuse towards women, towards men, what have you, they're using it as a platform to expose. Like, that's the culture now. We got to expose. We're so proud and happy Diddy's finally exposed. Diddy's going down. Diddy's doing this, all of that. And my main problem with this is like, what are we really doing here? Do we really care about the issue at hand? Or do we want to use this as a bloodthirsty type of platform now to tear down people in the hip hop industry and icons that we don't like, or certain people don't like, just to validate their narrative, to feel good in their head, like, oh yeah, finally Diddy's going down, And to me, I think that sets the wrong precedent. And there's a lot of what I mentioned, what I saw you do a reaction to on with Dr. Umar. A lot of selective morality going on here, bro. A lot of selective morality. And that's what I think is the real problem with all of this. And I just want to say, like, this show, we're going to just lay out what we know and the facts of what we know of this Diddy case as of now. We're not going to do any online sensationalized gossip. We'll use that, later to say what's going against certain people like Jay-Z. But we're going to lay out what actually we know, and we're going to go from what opinions are being formed off of that. So off the top, boss, I gotta ask your opinion, like your whole opinion on this Diddy Rico case, and how does this or will this tarnish Jay-Z's legacy?
Um, I think that this is bigger than what we think, and it's an active ploy to take down, and I'm just gonna say it. It's an active ploy to take down successful Black entrepreneurs that are a threat to the establishment. Now,
Okay.
this doesn't dismiss what Diddy did, but this is just a catalyst to get into that space to get them. So, for example, they'll use something like Diddy to get to Jay-Z, even though they're not really tied to each other. So it's like, okay, well,
That's exactly right.
this guy, okay, yeah, they was cool. So there's this, he must be a part of this.
Yeah.
Do I think that this is going to tarnish hip hop? Absolutely. I think that this will tarnish hip hop because you're talking about two of the biggest icons. Diddy probably is the biggest. He would be the logo for hip hop. Let's just be clear here.
Okay.
Puff Daddy would be the NBA logo. He would be Jerry West. That would be Puff Daddy for hip hop.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm saying that in a way where taking all the egregious things away, just him as what he did for hip hop in a whole, especially East Coast hip hop and hip hop in general, music in general. Be honest with you, just not just hip hop.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Taking him down for good reason. If everything is true, for good reason.
That's
but
right.
Jay-Z is a little bit different because taking him down just seems like it's like the cherry on top. And it's not really like he's a part of it. So taking Jay-Z down is a big deal because to me, it kind of feels like it's out of spite. It's not really out of evidence. It's okay, yeah, let me get you because we don't really have anything on you. So the court of public opinion is going to get you now. We're going to see.
And I don't know where that's coming from. And him and Beyonce for that reason. And I've never, and I like how you put that because it's almost like, don't you almost feel like people are using the Diddy case and using P. Diddy to say, now that he's caught, we can really say how we really feel about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
We can go
yeah,
we can go
now we can do it now.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we really felt the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And I think that with the thing with Jay-Z and the thing with Beyonce is they have a very private life. You don't really hear too much about Beyonce unless it's music. You don't hear. That's one thing I can say about Beyonce. She's not a gossiper. You don't hear about her in tabloids. You don't hear about her doing a bunch of extra stuff. Never. Nothing. And I think that, and it's going to sound crazy, I think that people are jealous of that. They're jealous of the fact that they really don't have nothing on these two.
Yo,
and I feel like they have to.
I so want to get into that. Just wait till we get into the relationship issue of this, because I got some things to call out on that. And I got some certain other hip hop couples, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That I want to kind of, all right, so, you know, what did Dr. Umar say? Like the moral hypocrisy or what have you of it? Yeah, this is exactly what's going on. And I really think, just to follow up on your statement, I think that there's certain pockets of the community, and I mean community, hip hop and both the Afro-American community, that I think are jealous of Jay-Z because of his multi-billion-dollar success. I think they feel he's too high up, he's too powerful, and instead of looking at him as something to aspire to be, they look at him now as something to aspire to take down, because we can't share his struggle the way he was when Jay-Z was in the streets, when he was talking about selling dope and selling crack, because that's the Jay we like, because we can relate late in the hood to that. You know what I mean? It's like Joe Buttons when he was rapping. I know on a song he said, "You only like something to the effect of you only like me when you saw me in Jersey City." You know what I mean? You saw me struggle. Now you see me in the media platforms on. Oh, everybody hates Joe Buttons because he's doing well. You know, that's kind of the same deal here, and I really noticed that it's really, I'm gonna call it out. It's crabs in the barrel. It's crabs in the barrel mentality going on with this situation right here.
I'm gonna tell you what it's a deeper rooted issue when it comes to this, and this just doesn't really apply to black people, but it does apply a good majority to black people. Is people hate success? That's one. Two, mainstream demonize wealthy people, and not to say all wealthy people are good people, but there are some good wealthy people, and whenever the more money, and when Big said more money, more problems, he absolutely, that's an absolute fact.
That is so fact.
And I think that when certain people get to a certain level, they look at it like, well, they had to cut somebody's throat to get there. There's no way that this guy got there on being honest. It had to be, he did something crooked on the way there.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, and especially Jay-Z, we all know Jay-Z came from the hood. That's right. He did a lot of nefarious things when he was younger to get to, not to even get to where he at, just did some nefarious things. Then he changed his life around. People don't take that into consideration. They look at that as a weapon to use against him. Like, well, he was a drug dealer when he was younger, so what you think he's doing now? He was a criminal before. Now he's just white collar crime now. That's how they look at it.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
So. Yeah.
So a lot of people, instead of them learning from Jay-Z and how and Nipsey Hussle said this, the people in your hood, they don't want to learn from you. You know what I'm saying? They want to tear you down. Like Jay-Z, he learned from Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? He respected Nipsey really respected Jay-Z because he said he is exactly what it is to be a hood dude who got out of the hood and became a billionaire.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no college degree, none of that. And that's another thing too, that a lot of people who go to these Ivy League schools and they get all this training and whatever, get all these scholarships or whatever, and all these degrees, and Jay-Z didn't even do all that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they feel some type of way. So I think that when it comes to Jay's a hood nigga, and you can still see it in him. You know what I'm saying? He never changed that. You could still see it in him. He a businessman, but you could still see the hood nigga in him, and they can't stand it because they look at it like, well, damn, how the hell? He did something wrong. I know he did. He's hood. He had something wrong.
Yeah, we gotta find it. Right. They gotta find something wrong he did. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get into this Dead End Hip Hop reaction video that directly talks about the whole Diddy bringing down, how is it going to bring down hip hop in the Jay-Z situation? So we're gonna start it off, and we're gonna go from there.
Who else are implicated? That's the thing. Like, bruh, I honestly really hope.
When it comes to Amgen's life-changing medical breakthroughs, every second counts.
Jay-Z's not involved, and Beyonce's not.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, Ken. I'm hoping. They are. Hoping they are. Because here's the thing, people. Look, I'll say this really quick before you get into your thing. Because, like, I feel like the way, but yeah, I feel like the way they move is just different. They're very secretive. Like, they're very, like, I don't know.
Why do you think that is, though?
But they move different now, though, and that's the issue. Yeah, who knows what happened back in the day, bro?
Look, the reason why
real quick, pause it.
And I believe that they're implicated is a couple of things, but the main thing is Jaguar Wright. She has been screaming from the mountaintop. Everything that Diddy's being alleged for right now is coming to fruition, and she's been implicated, both Jay-Z and others. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. When Jay-Z first met Beyonce.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it there real quick before I get to the Jay and Beyonce part. But we're gonna stop at Jaguar Wright, bro. So Jaguar Wright has come out recently on a Piers Morgan interview, and I know you did a video on this one. I thought that was an excellent video too. Check out Torture Chamber on that Jaguar Wright Piers Morgan interview that you did a reaction to.
Yeah.
I saw that video, and that's where I say, aha, now I see where the nexus for a lot of this energy towards Jay-Z and the Diddy case was coming from. But I just got to ask you, like, because I watched this video, and she started out with a lot of triggered venom, you know, and you could see it in her eyes. Like, she was really coming for Jay-Z's jugular on this. But then when she came out and said Jay-Z and Beyonce are a nasty, evil couple, and Jay-Z's a monster, she then started going in some weird, it got weird. Talking about putting girls in suitcases and being a dominatrix and having girls with cameras set people up. Like, what was your take on that? And like, really, how credible was she? First of all, what was she accusing Jay-Z of? I really want to know.
She has not provided any evidence of Jay-Z being a monster. Not one thing.
That's what I was seeing.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. I think with her, see, this is what people gotta understand about Jaguar Wright and a lot of these people. Just like what they just said on Dead and Hip Hop, just like we don't really know. This guy, I don't know his name. What's his name? You know his name?
FIFO.
FIFO, right? This guy,
yeah.
He could have said he's at a Diddy party. And he could have said he got everything on camera. You know what? What's going to happen? People are going to believe him. Because what happens is people like them, like not him, but I'm just using him as an example. Mm-hmm. They hide a lie between two truths. So it's like, okay, we all know that Diddy did have some wild parties, and we all know that there was a bunch of people there, but we don't know who was there. So anybody could say anything, and they can lie about it. So this is what Jaguar Wright does. She lies about stuff that you can't prove anyway. So how are we gonna know that Beyonce? That's an open and ended thing. How the hell would we know Beyonce and Jay-Z was monsters? To her, they might be monsters because they didn't let her over for dinner.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why people on my channel in my comments on that video, they so mad at me because I say black people need to start asking for more evidence for things instead of us just automatically assuming that this is real. I don't care if it's coming from a woman. So what? Because my thing is, you got to be a nasty, egregious, dirty woman if you have tapes of people getting molested or things, and you don't give it to the authorities.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Until someone gets in trouble for you to bring it out and say that this is how I know she's lying. Because if I had tapes like that, why would I hold on to them? For what? I would share those with the authorities. Under any circumstance, I'm holding on to the tapes of people getting assaulted and all this stuff. Why? Why do I need to do that?
So you know what's sad about her is that I saw that interview and she hid behind the Diddy case as validation because she called out Diddy for years of I have credibility. And because of this, Jay-Z and Beyonce are monsters based off that credibility. But here's the thing. All I could say are I have tapes. There was a girl in the suitcase. There were sex workers that I have cameras that had cameras on them. Mm-hmm. And things happened. People got hurt. And I'm like, well, why are you talking in riddles? Why aren't you being straightforward saying Jay-Z did this, Jay-Z did that? You know what I mean? Or Beyonce did this. It's almost like she's like, I'll tell you more at a later date. You know?
Yeah. I'll give you a perfect
example. People like that.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you're making up the story as you go along. Okay. Yeah. You didn't tell clearly what it is, but the shame about her is she's using her credibility on a Diddy case that we already knew, you know, and you're trying to use people's emotions and your emotions against them and use other victims' emotions. Because there are real people out there, especially in the community, that have been victims of domestic violence, domestic abuse, sexual abuse. And with her being so angry and adamant about it, not even giving details, those people put their emotions and channel their emotions now towards Jay-Z. She's trying to transfer the energy of Diddy now that that's validated. We're going to put it on Jay-Z because I say so. And you're going to listen to me. And that's exactly what she did. And people believe it.
Here's the thing, right? So there's people who do nefarious things, and let's just use the Russian president. I ain't gonna say his name on here, but let's just use
Vladimir Putin.
Right?
Yeah,
I know his name, but I didn't want to say his name because I don't want to algorithm up. Let's just say the Russian president. You know what I'm saying? We all know that he done some things, right? And just imagine if you lived over there and you said you knew him, but nobody really knew if you knew him. You just basically said you knew. You know what I'm saying? And you went along. Yeah, you basically put it out there. Yeah, he's a criminal, right? But nobody knows. But you say something long enough, people start to believe you. Now with Diddy, she been saying this for years about Diddy, right? But everybody already knew that Diddy did some things. It's not like she was saying something new. It's not like it was Obama that she brought up and said, look, this guy is the monster. He's the real monster. And then we found out, like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew that Diddy was doing these things. So this is what I mean by, if you say something, even though everybody knows it, you just say, I'm screaming from the mountaintops that this person is an evil person. And I go up there with you and I say, you know what? You're right. They're an evil person. And everybody say, yeah, you're right. And then something happens and you take all the credit for it. Be like, look, see, I told you for years that this person was a mean person, but we already knew that he was an evil person. It wasn't like we didn't know. We knew it from making a band. We knew it from him throwing stuff around. We knew that he wasn't really, he was a savage man. We knew this. And stories that people said, we knew him jerking people on their contracts. We knew that him doing all this stuff. We knew this. So now, like you said, she wants to transfer that same energy to Jay-Z, but there's nothing about Jay-Z that she can bring up. She can't bring up nothing. So what she's doing is she's trying to use all the energy she had from Diddy and put it all on Jay-Z. Like, look, he's a monster too. And it's like, well, wait a minute. We all knew that Diddy was a monster all these years, but we didn't know Jay-Z was a monster. So tell us what he did. I have the tapes of Beyonce. Okay, well, show us the tapes. You don't want to do it because you know that she wants to wait until a tiny thing happens to Jay-Z. And you know what one of those things was? It was Foxy Brown. And I know we probably gonna talk about that a little later.
We're gonna talk about that.
It was Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now what happened? And we'll talk about that later, but still, this is what they do. This is what she does. This is what Jaguar Wright does. I watched all her interviews. In all her interviews, she hit you with things that she knew that you can never find out. How are you going to know what happened at a Diddy party? You was never there. She could say anything happened.
Yeah.
How would you know? The parties are all over with. How would you know?
But what it is, you know, it's that emotion where, you know, and we always talk about it. It's common in politics. It's the My Truth media era where somebody says something about somebody you automatically don't like. And even though you know there's no actual proof of it happening, it validates it because it validates your emotions towards that person. Yep. Or towards a, you know, whether it's a candidate or political party or whatever, it just validates things. Even though it may not be 100% true, it may be 5% true. But that 5% and the other 95% is enough to get you over and say, yeah, thank God, yeah, I was right. You know,
it's easy to believe the lie than find out the truth. That's just
right.
how it is.
That's
and
exactly
most
right.
people do. They will go along with the lie, even if you tell them the truth. Even if you, and just so happens today, somebody came out yesterday and told the truth, and people still believe the lie.
We are so going to get to that. I mean, but it's interesting that you said something happened today, because Dame Dash, who obviously is in a legal battle with Jay-Z, and longtime Jay-Z business partner in the glory years turned enemy, very bitter enemy, came out today and said, I support everything that Jaguar Wright said. And not only that, but Jay-Z witnessed R. Kelly abuse Aaliyah. And on top of that, like, that's the real reason why we broke up. Because I didn't like Jay-Z moving with R. Kelly on Best of Both Worlds album. So we had to break up right then and there. Knowing damn well, Dame, come on, bro. That's not the real truth. Let's get over that, bro.
He's saying the reason why him and Aaliyah broke up, or him and Jay-Z broke up?
Him and Jay-Z broke up.
So they broke up
because of Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly at that time.
It's a fraud.
but Reese, but see, this is my thing. You notice the timing of this. This is right after the Pierce Morgan Jaguar Wright interview made waves. And what? We're just going to ignore you're in a very vicious legal battle that's in the state Supreme Court in New York over your Rockefeller Publishing. We're going to ignore that. And now all of a sudden, after, let's say, that was 22 years ago, 23 years ago, the Best of Both Worlds album, now you're going to say, oh, I didn't like Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly because R. Kelly was abusive toward Aaliyah. Get out of here, bro. You were in the studio too when they were making that album. So what? You didn't confront R. Kelly then? You know what I mean? Come on.
And they made 2 albums.
That's right.
Like, what are you talking about, Doug? They made 2 albums.
But this is my thing, bro. Like, you see the convenience of it all. And I want to get to this later about people getting back to, they're using their rival energy and using this vehicle now as a machine to go against Jay-Z because of transferring this from the Diddy case. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It's a flat out joke.
They got nothing on the man, and they're trying their hard. See, the thing with Dame Dash is I find Dame Dash he's a very unique character to me, right? and he I always looked at him as a joke, because Dame Dash always act as if he was this great businessman and he doesn't have anything. It's like, how are you this super good businessman and got nothing? You're getting sued. You stole stuff from people. You did all these things. You try to take people's rights and all this stuff. And now you're trying to sell your piece because you need the money. And I always get fascinated by guys like him who they never grew up.
How many times he claimed bankruptcy? Like 4 or 5 times? I don't know.
I don't know how many times he claimed bankruptcy, but I do know that he owes like $100 and something $1,000 child support or something like that.
Oh God.
And then he also owes money to someone sued him for $800,000, and he owes taxes to the IRS, like I believe like $5 million or something, $8 million or something, somewhere around there. So he wants to sell the rights to the reasonable doubt for 7 years. It's for 7 years. And you make $100,000 off it. He wants, I believe, 8 million or 10 million or something or 25 million or something like that. Now, tell me if this is a good business move, right? So you want to sell, and check this out. This is crazy. You want to sell somebody something that only makes $100,000 a year on it. That's it. It only makes $100,000 a year on that album, right? The average, usually less, but the average is $100,000. You want to sell it? I believe it's in the millions. I ain't gonna say how much, but it's in the millions. It's believe 24 million or something like that. You want to sell it for 24 million, but yet and still you want somebody to buy something that's only good for 7 years for 100,000, and you only make 100,000 off it a year. Tell me if that's not a good business move. That's retarded. Why would somebody buy something off
But
of you?
you know what the narrative out there is? Jay-Z's bringing down the value of the reasonable doubt. Really bringing down the value of it. But how much is it really worth? I'm asking.
My thing is, I'll ask the people this: how is he bringing down the value of it? He's not because he's not promoting it.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. Like he's
like, what did Reasonable Doubt sell? What, 2 million records?
Yeah, but Jay-Z's still making money off it too, because it's not like he's totally cut out from it.
Yeah, but it's not like, what's Jay-Z's highest selling album? Volume 2. You know what I mean? It's not his highest cash cow. I mean, art-wise, maybe it is, but I mean, what do you expect you're gonna do with that? Really?
Ding Dash is a fraud. He's always been a fraud. And he's just one of those people that just want to keep his name relevant, but he has nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's a fraud. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that. You know, like 10 baby mothers or something like that. I don't know. It's a fraud. You know what I'm saying?
What a fuck up.
Like,
what a royal fuck up, dude.
Like, it's a fraud.
Anyway, let's get back to this, because now we're going to get into the relationship portion of this. This is going to get interesting. So let's get back. Hold on. All right.
He was 16 years old. Jay-Z was 27.
Come on.
You know, so
let's go back a little bit.
Oh no,
why do you think that is though?
But they move different now though, and that's the issue. Yeah. Who knows what happened back in the day, bro?
Look, the reason why I'm going to say that I believe that they're implicated is a couple of things, but the main thing is Jaguar Wright. She has been screaming from the mountaintop. Everything that Diddy's being alleged for right now is coming to fruition. And she's been implicated, both Jay-Z and others. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. When Jay-Z first met Beyonce was 16 years old. Jay-Z was 27.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? What do you mean, come on, FIFO? What do you mean, come on, FIFO? What do you mean? The facts are the facts.
Pause that real quick.
Okay, I gotta pause that. We gotta talk about that ASAP. Here's the facts about it. Now we're gonna start with Beyonce and we're gonna work back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go Aaliyah. We're gonna go all the way back to Foxy Brown. Here's the facts of this. Jay-Z met Beyonce MTV Spring Break in 2000 when Beyonce was 18 years old. They met. I think they had a mutual sort of relationship with managers or something like that. Now, everybody knew Beyonce's parents were very strict managers of Destiny's Child at that time. I mean, I don't think Beyonce had maybe all but like 2 boyfriends her whole life. I mean, her father, Matthew Knowles and Tina Knowles, they were borderline like Jackson-like. That's how controlling they were, okay? So she wasn't really allowed to formally date really until she turned 19. And then with their blessing, like she started to date Jay-Z. Now Jay-Z is 12 years older than her. You know what I mean? But this is my whole thing about it, Reese. So they started dating at 19. They didn't get married till like 7 years later in 2008. Now, let's do the math. They've been together 23 years or so. They were married for 16 of those years. It's been a successful marriage where Jay-Z has stood by her through a miscarriage. There was some infidelity in there, but they worked that out. And Beyonce's admitted that. So if him dating a girl who was, legally young at the time with the blessing of her manager parents, and they have a successful 16-year marriage over 22 years. Name me one hip-hop marriage that has worked like this in hip-hop or really entertainment. How is this bad? Like, how is Jay-Z the bad guy in this? I just have to understand this.
Now, and you know what the thing is, which I kind of like. I like that in hip hop, and I like them. They pretty good. And it's not really against them. It's really more on the lines of this is what I don't like that people do. So there's a difference between messing with someone than actually being around people. If you're in the music industry, Beyonce is in the music industry, Destiny's Child, whoever's in the music industry, Jay-Z's in the music industry, you're going to come across these young people. What really bothers me about his statement is, do you say this about TLC when they was with Immature? They was grown women. Immature was kids. You say this about, did you say this about all of those grown people when they was with Criss Cross? They were kids. They were around them. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, it just seems to me like people have this mind state of inappropriateness that they apply to whoever they want to apply it to. So Beyonce was 16 years old and Jay-Z met her at 16.
It's selective morality.
He was in the music industry. She was in the music industry. They're called teen stars. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Do we say this about Diana Ross when she met Michael Jackson when he was a kid? When Elizabeth Taylor was with Michael Jackson when he was a kid? Did anybody say anything about that? But it just seems to me like everybody want to be selective when it comes to certain morality. Things. Yes. That's then right. Jay-Z. Now let's get to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z and Beyonce been together, what, 20 years?
22 years. That's
longer than all of their relationships. Every one of them on that panel. There's no way in the world you should think that this is immoral when she's in her 30s and he's what? I think she's what, 35, 36, right?
I think she's close to, I think she's 40 now. She's like 42 or whatever.
She's 40. She's
Jay-Z's 54, she's 42.
She's 42.
Yeah.
She's 42 and he's 54. How is that not a compatible relationship? Even if he met her at 19, and he was 27. Look at where they're at today. She's in her 40s. He's in his 50s. That's a great relationship, to be honest with you, because he took this young woman. She was the biggest star, one of the biggest stars ever. He took her under his wing and they stayed together. They got 3 kids?
2 kids. Like I think 2 kids. Blue Ivy is like 14, 15 now. One is almost a grown woman now. Yeah.
It's like she's like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And they grew a took a whole family. How can you even bring up the fact that he met her, even if at 19 years old? He met her at 19, but they lived their life together and he's still with her.
And not only that Blue Ivy is raised in a 2-parent household. How about that one?
Exactly.
Go figure.
Their daughter is raised in a 2-family household. They have a successful marriage. They're together now. People try to get on Jay-Z and Beyonce about infidelity. They listen, man.
But they worked it out.
I'm gonna tell you like this. What does the vow say? For better or worse, rich or for poor. So they stayed together.
They worked it out. But here's the craziest part. You only heard about it in tiny detail. You didn't see Beyonce go and smear the man. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to say, you know what, Jay-Z, she ain't do none of that. She did it through song and a little
bit,
but Jay-Z did it too. They talked about it all on 444.
And guess what? They did songs together about it.
And then they did an album together.
Yes, and made money off of it. Saying like, look, this and called it the Carters. Like, yeah, you can't.
See, this is my thing.
Come on, man.
Like, let's stay on the selective morality thing.
Yeah.
So this is Jay-Z is evil for getting with her at 19 years old. But okay, we're here all. I'm not going to say we. Let's take us out of it. But let's just talk about the modern day online culture. Everybody is picking sides and rooting for Cardi B and Offset because Cardi B caught Offset cheating for like 8 times, and Cardi B is out there bragging about having sex with another man while married with 2 other kids pregnant. But we're gonna go and cheer that on. Like that's really acceptable, and that toxic shit online is really acceptable. But Jay-Z is the bad guy, right? But all you want to Gen Z chicks, all you modern women, that's your deal. Oh yeah, Cardi B, go her. Yeah, that dude, he cheated on her. So what? So she's gonna brag about cheating while pregnant with another seed in her? Okay. All right. What about Christian Rock and Blueface? You know what I mean? All the abusive stuff they do on TV, him beating her up in public, promoting toxicity and toxic relationships. So that's what you want to do. But Jay-Z is the bad guy because he started dating her at 19, right? That's your grooming, right? But toxic relationships and wild infidelity, threesomes while married and all that other stuff, that's what's good. That's what y'all cheer on and y'all take sides. Yeah, go Cardi. She's our hero or heroine. So that's my moral soapbox statement for the evening. Like, what do people really got to say about that? How you feel about that, Reese?
I think most of these people are just hypocrites. And
collective morality. That's the theme of the evening.
The crazy thing is, they'll go to a club, and if there's a 19, 20-year-old girl in the club, they could be 32, 35. They taking her home. As long as she legal, that's the first thing they say. How old are you? And if she says she legal, she say, oh, I'm 21 or I'm 19. They don't care. Trust me, I see it. I travel. You travel. We see it all the time. I seen old men, 55, 60 years old with 21-year-old girls. And then they they come back here and try to act as if like, oh, that's wrong for people to do.
Don't get me started on sugardaddy.com. Please
don't
get me started.
It's crazy to me. And my thing
culture, is like, Reese, it's a culture out there.
I'm telling you.
And it's celebrated online with younger women. I'm telling you, it's a culture out there.
I'm gonna tell you like this,
but check this out. Because there's money involved, OnlyFans, all of that culture that's celebrated now. And that's cool. But when this guy does it, that's grooming. That's that. Selective morality, bro.
They look for any and everything to attach to this man. So now, even though he was with Beyonce since she was 19 and they still together, have children together, they have a successful marriage together, all that doesn't matter. The only thing matters is he met her when he started being with her when she was 19 and he was too old for her. It's like, okay, so have you, and here's another thing, right? They always talk about the guy, but they never talk about the female. They never say, well, this female, maybe she wanted to be, because it's always when a woman says, this is how you know all these people are hypocrites. When a woman says, I like older men, nobody says anything. If a man says, I like younger women, oh, he's a groomer. There's something wrong with him. Seriously.
But see, the whole thing about it is that her parents chaperoned this and her parents gave a blessing to this because Matthew Knowles and Tina Knowles, they were so possessive on Beyonce as being a perfectionist. She rarely had time to date. She had a boyfriend for like 2 or 3 years before Jay-Z. She never had many boyfriends in her life. You know what I mean? So it's not like, she had this wild, reckless lifestyle where she was dealing with all of these older men, you know what I mean, and getting, abused and taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. Her parents were right there. So it's like, I'm really trying to, and see, this is the problem with modern day social media culture is people that never went through that time never really understand the full context of what went on, and these kids online who just see repeated stories out there floated. Oh, yeah, he was with her at 16. They don't check that.
They don't
check that. Beyonce, listen, let me tell you something. Beyonce wasn't even in the industry at 16. Her first song No came out in October of 1997. Beyonce turned 17 in September of 1997. So that's how you know that's a lie. How did she get with him at 16 when she wasn't even in the industry? I mean, like, do the facts. Do the fact check.
It's easy to believe a lie than find out the truth.
Find out the truth. Absolute facts.
It's
absolute facts. All right, let's go on a little bit here.
When he started dating B, she was a teenager, underage. What is we talking about? That is a fact. Don't tell me, people, what is you doing? I'm stating facts.
Now watch this.
Bro. Okay.
I'm just saying. Look, I don't want it from a personal perspective, right? Like I love what Jay-Z represents. I love the business acumen of Jay-Z. I feel like he is one of the music heroes to follow in his footsteps on how to navigate, you know what I'm saying, the treacherous waters. At least that's how we felt, or at least that's the facade that was fed to us. We shall see in the next year if that was a fallacy or not. We just will see.
Federale FIFO, bro.
Federale FIFO, man. I'm just stating facts, man. I'm just stating facts.
That didn't have anything to do with this thing, bro. That didn't have anything to do with Jay-Z, with Diddy, bro.
What I am saying is that those two dudes, how they've operated is not that far-fetched, or it's not that different. It's just has put this shit on the wraps for.
That's
I'm reading that she was 19 when they became romantically involved in 2001.
Watch this.
But we know this, right? You're not going to court somebody in like bro, it takes a little bit of time. Like he didn't just meet her at 19 and then boom. Like no, bro. Like come on. There's pictures. It's like it is what it is. We can all have our own personal takes and our own personal biases. All I am saying is I believe, and I don't want it to be true, but I believe that the Diddy situation is going to implicate Jay-Z somehow, some way.
I just got to stop it there, bro.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
You're a fucking habitual goalpost mover. How the hell you come out with a statement saying it is a fact that we know that he was messing with her at 16. The boy said they didn't become romantically involved until she was 19. And then you go and say, well, the way I feel is he could have groomed her from then, because you can't just say you met her at 19.
Yeah.
What do you mean, man? You can't meet somebody at 19. You have to meet them before 19. So if you meet your girl at the store and she's 19 and you date her and somebody find out, they're going to say, well, you had to known her when she was 16. I just met her 3 weeks ago.
You can't make this up, bro. He got caught.
Crazy.
You know what it is? He got caught, and I like FIFO, yo. He does his homework when it comes to hip hop reviews. But bro, you got caught red-handed, man.
Like, come on, bro.
You got exposed like a motherfucker.
But you see, this is what I mean by people. It's easy to believe the lie, right? He literally out his mouth, he said, that is a fact. And we know this. You don't know that. You just believe the lie.
He just proved you wrong. I just proved you wrong with what I read. I mean, come on, man. Like, what are you doing?
That is a fact. And we know.
You gotta love it, man. But let's get back to a little thing here. He says that somehow, some way, Jay-Z is going to be implicated in the Diddy case. But I gotta ask you, like, what criminal-like behavior have you seen in any cases whatsoever from Jay-Z to link him to Diddy? Like, okay, I get it, the Diddy parties, right? But I think what people fail to realize, and just to let you know, most of these people who talk online, they never read the full indictment. I read the full 14-page indictment. There are no lists of the witnesses or anybody implicated. The one person charged is Jay-Z, and they mentioned that there is a multitude of Bad Boy affiliates, staff, bodyguards, people who work for Jay-Z, not Jay-Z, but Diddy. You know what I mean? People who work for Diddy that were witnesses in this, and they're going to be called to testify. Now, my thing is like, because Jay-Z has went to high-profile parties with Diddy, you know, and knows Diddy from, you know, the business over the years, how does that particularly link him to the freak off parties, to the after hours, to the wild sex parties that Diddy is being charged for? I just have to know.
This is all made up. Let me see what I can get on this guy, right? Jay-Z. The thing is, they got nothing on Jay-Z. They got nothing on him. Nobody has anything on Jay-Z because people would have been said something about it. Like, what are they holding on to it for? They don't have nothing on the man. Let's just be clear. I never heard anything out of the norm about Jay-Z. Never. I might have heard some and you know what? Another thing too that I noticed, that people are really mad about that NFL deal. They're really pissed.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
Pissed off about that, because this is how people look at it, right? And I'm gonna explain this. This is how people look at it.
The Super Bowl.
It's more than the Super Bowl, right? It really has something to do with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Everybody saw he was brave. He did something for the black community, racial injustice and police brutality. He brought awareness to that, right? I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I'm going to tell you what I believe it is. How I feel is he shouldn't have did that, because the NFL is not a place for that. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
NFL is a sports league. It's not for you to put out your how would I say, your racial inequality type shit. That has nothing to do with the NFL. You're there to play a game. It's just a game. You don't need to use the NFL to bring awareness to police brutality, because you have activists for that. That's just my opinion. Now, I think that people, when Jay-Z came in and Jay-Z said, you know what? We kneeled, but what are we gonna do now? We need to gain something from this. Jay-Z made a masterful move, and he got the Super Bowl to be something that the black community could look up to. You get what I'm saying? Something that he could spread awareness through a different way. Doesn't have to necessarily mean taking a knee. Now it's more like, I'm gonna bring black artists in front of all of these white people to see. That's probably
That's right.
They've never even seen this. People got upset about that because they felt like he abandoned the mission and took over Colin Kaepernick's moment and put it into something that he wanted to do. And it's like, oh, y'all forgot about the kneeling, because now what we're doing now, we're just taking over the halftime show.
I want to stop you right there before we get to what Jay-Z did for the Super Bowl and basically bringing hip hop, making a global performance with the Super Bowl. People again, it's like people put these narratives out there and they just totally overlook the context of what really happened at the time. Colin Kaepernick took an undisclosed money amount from the NFL. He took a settlement deal somewhere rumored to be over $200 million. And he took a settlement deal with an NDA to go away. Now, he could still promote and talk about social injustice or what have you, do speaking engagements, but he can't do it on the NFL's time. They basically paid him to go away, and he took it, and he took the money and ran, you know? So this is my feeling about that, about Jay-Z. And people are calling him, oh, well, he sold out for the man. He sold out for the white man because there is a stigma of the NFL of some of the owners being racist, okay? To the point where I believe last year he performed at Tom Brady, one of the owners, Robert Kraft for the Patriots, Tom Brady had his retirement party, and Jay-Z performed there, and he got in trouble for that. The community came after him and said, oh, well, he couldn't do Hip Hop 50, but he did one for the rich white owners in Tom Brady, who are white people, right? But see, this is the whole thing about this, and this goes to talk about our culture, right? So why, first of all, Colin Kaepernick hasn't been talked about since he took the deal, but he's still looked at as a hero when really, let's call it, he's the biggest sellout. You're the one that took that deal to go away and signed an NDA with the NFL to basically not do it on their time. Now, the NFL from that has brought more awareness to social injustice. They all did ceremonial kneels and whatever when the what's his name? George Floyd situation happened, all of that. They've really been active in that circle, and maybe Colin had something to do with it. But let's not act like Jay-Z is the bad guy when the guy that did all the protesting took the money and ran from the quote unquote man or the white man. Can we really do the homework behind that? Like, am I missing something?
I definitely think what you're saying is 100% facts. You took the money, and on top of that, you took money from Nike too before that.
Thank you.
So you did two different things, and it's like again, I always say this about certain people: they make money off of your oppression, and it might sound harsh to say, but Colin Kaepernick, he played y'all. He in the beginning, he probably was serious about it. Don't get me wrong, he probably was very serious about it. But then once he seen that check, because if you are, this is why I say about racism, and this is why I say about black activism, right? You are a true black activist, you ain't taking no money.
Thank you.
If you are a true racist, you ain't hiring no black people.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. There's no way around it to me. You ain't even being cool with a black person if you're a true racist. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really fall into those categories like that. So if the NFL wanted to make things right, if they saying that the NFL just wanted to make things right, well, they made a big right by putting Jay-Z in the Super Bowl halftime show,
promoting hip hop to the world.
Hip-hop to the world. How is that not a big plus for the black
community? Every one of those artists on that Super Bowl stage have been black artists.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Since he took over.
And the one performing at this year's Super Bowl is one of the most profound conscious rappers of the last 20 years in Kendrick Lamar.
And on top of that, he's the very first solo act ever hip hop artist.
Thank you.
And I would even argue that he's not as big as Eminem. He's not as big as of Snoop and Dre and Mary J. Blige. He was on that one. But he's not as big as them when it comes to like global icon of shit with all the music that they done did for years. They even gained for 20, 30 years. Jay-Z could have, and this is another thing that people are not understanding. Jay-Z could have did that himself. He could have did the Super Bowl himself. He didn't have to put Kendrick there. He could have did it himself. So my thing is like, I just hate the fact that people, they're really upset at Jay-Z because they look at it like, I can't, because every time I talk to somebody about Jay-Z, they either bring up Foxy, Aaliyah, or the NFL. That's it. Those are the three things they always bring up. And
that's what I want to get to next, because just to hold on to Super Bowl comment, see, because Jay-Z could have easily put out Taylor Swift there and called it a day. He easily could have put out Taylor Swift and would have had the highest ratings known to man. But he picked a black conscious artist to go out there who's having his most successful year to promote hip hop. How is that not for the culture? Is what I want to know. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. I don't understand they're selling out for the man. Like, I don't understand.
But see, it's interesting. Let's go back to Foxy Brown now. So it was alleged Foxy Brown messed with Jay-Z at 16, right? That was the narrative of 15 and 16, right? But see, this is why, again, people don't do their homework. First of all, that started from Ether. That started from Nas versus Jay-Z. When Nas came on a Wendy Williams show and said, well, if Jay-Z was around R. Kelly, how come he didn't see all of the stuff R. Kelly was doing with 15 and 16-year-olds at that time, right? So automatically, Foxy Brown's name came up in Ether. So automatically, people placed Foxy Brown in relationships with Jay-Z. And since then, Foxy was trying to live that down, and she is denied being with Jay-Z not one, but 3 times. Latest time was as early as last year. She came out and said that. And recently, she basically said, I don't know, I saw you did a video on it. She basically said on Instagram, y'all want me to be anti-ho so bad, I'm laughing at y'all. And shut down every one of those rumors. True. But you know what people are saying? Oh, yeah. You know, he been paying her for years. He been paying her. Yeah, and she said in there, NDA, fuck an NDA. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. You don't even realize, right? It's illegal when it comes to statutory rape or certain crimes. NDAs are illegal. You can't do that, and people don't realize that. And they say, "Oh, she signed an NDA." So how is she going to sign an NDA and it's valid when it's illegal?
It's how she signed the NDA of getting raped. Don't tell nobody you got raped. Don't tell nobody you got raped. Sign this paper. Really? What?
I mean, it just goes on. Like they said, Jay-Z messed with this is another one that I saw. Jay-Z stole Dame Dash from Aaliyah when she was 16 or 15. Like, okay. Dame Dash was with Aaliyah right before she died, and Aaliyah died at 21 years old. So Aaliyah was 20 years old when she met Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was like 27 or 28. So even if they did have an affair and Jay-Z stole her from Dame Dash, which that's the rumor going around. So what? She was 20, he was 27, and she was 20. What's wrong with that?
I don't understand it.
Like, what is going on here?
I don't understand it. One girl in my comments, she was like, Jay-Z's been paying. He made her sign a contract not to say nothing, and he's been paying her for years. Well, obviously the contract is non-void. But here's the thing. So Nicki Minaj, I believe, came out yesterday or the day before yesterday, and she said she can't wait until 2025 when that NDA or that contract is up, so Foxy Brown can spill her whole story. And that's the reason why Foxy Brown came out and said, y'all want me to be anti-ho so bad. Like, ain't nothing happened between me and him. like nothing happened. But my thing is, I thought, what happened to believe all women? So why is it when a woman says nothing happened to her, why y'all don't believe that?
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, it's always believe all women until it's something that you think is happened. Oh, now it's not believe all women. It's like, well, what are you talking about here? Like, did he? The woman said that nothing happened. So why are we still sitting here and saying?
3 times.
You know what I'm saying? 3 times she done said it. Well, she's in her 40s too. You know what I'm saying? She's like, what, 43, 44 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that if something happened within those 20 years, she would have said something about it easily. So he signed. And my thing is another thing too, Nicki Minaj. I gotta speak to her. Nicki Minaj, how do you know that there was a secret contract signing and it was up in 2025? Who told you this? Because if you knew, that there was a contract, that means that you know who signed the contract and when it was happening. How do you know and nobody else know? Was you there? Because if you wasn't there, somebody had to tell you this, which it could be a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's why we also got to start asking people, how do you know this? Because you're saying it's a secret contract, but you wasn't there. So how you know there was a secret contract? Did somebody show you this contract? It's just a bunch of...
This is actually a good segue to my next question for you, but we need to have a Nicki Minaj night one night and just talk about her and how her just terrible behavior is tearing down her legacy. Serious, bro. Like, yeah, they call her, you know what they call her online now? The new name for her going on is called the Crash Out Queen. And boy, does she know how to crash out, boy. Yeah. But anyway, that we keep going, but so I'm gonna go. This is the only conspiracy logic I'm gonna go here with this whole Jay-Z and channeling Diddy's energy to Jay-Z.
Are you watching any more of that video, or are you just listening?
Yeah, well, we're gonna go on more just to sum it up, because I want to talk about just the Diddy case in general, other hip hop in general. But last thing with Jay-Z is, do you think that some of these artists, and I'm just gonna call out names: Birdman, Nicki, Drake, Dame Dash, 50 Cent, are using the Diddy's case as leverage, as a vehicle to take down Jay-Z because they wanted to see him go down? So with that, they're using their social media platforms, they're using their social media ways, because we all know Drake got bots, we all know Nicki got bots, to put out narrative stories to take down Jay-Z because of their selfish, propaganda that they want to put out there, because they just want to see Jay-Z go down. I thought at first it was kind of a little bit far-fetched, but you know what? After Kendrick and Drake, why not? What you think about that one?
I definitely think that there's an active conspiracy or active thing to take Jay-Z out, and from all of those people. And I think that for some reason, I don't know what happened behind closed doors with some of these people. I don't know if he decides to go a certain way when it comes to business or whatever. I don't know. And they're not really explaining either. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them just saying they hate Jay-Z, but they're not giving reasons why. That's where I start to question. It's like, okay, why do you really don't like Jay-Z?
Well, the narrative is that Rock Nation hates on Young Money. They've always been a thorn in the side of Young Money for years, and which I really didn't know about. But apparently, I don't know if Jay was stealing artists. I don't know if there was little things where they were blocking deals, but basically Nicki has had this energy towards Jay-Z for years. But I've said in a recent video, matter of fact, we were in the same video, that Nicki's real thing was the whole BS title deal, where I don't even know if Nicki's telling the whole truth on that. I think she's telling a half truth about the title money. And bottom line is, she's mad that Jay-Z chose to promote Meg Thee Stallion. I really think Nicki was mad that Jay-Z didn't do business with her the way she wanted it. So now she wants to make Jay pay for that, because in certain aspects, Nicki probably could have got a better deal going through Rock Nation, or build her label that she's just starting out working with Jay, and Jay chose to go another way. I think something like that probably happened. I don't get the Drake thing though, but Drake, I heard behind closed doors, really don't fuck with Jay-Z.
Yeah. I don't know really. I don't really know Drake's whole deal with Jay-Z. I don't know. I'll try to find something, but I don't really know his deal. Nicki, I don't know what her deal is either, because all Jay-Z ever did was help her boss. So I don't know why she's so butthurt.
Wayne, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All he did was help him. That's it. I think that there's probably some things that we don't know. Obviously, there's some things we don't know about, but I think that it's probably not as big as they think. Or Jay-Z probably outsmarted them business-wise. And what I mean by it, they probably took it as if he didn't tell them certain things and he got over on them. But truth be told, I mean, they're not suffering. Ain't nothing happened to Nicki Minaj where she has to really hate Jay-Z.
But another thing too, if he knows something that they don't, isn't that smart business?
That's the thing. And the whole thing with Tidal was like, oh, well, he put us in this Tidal deal and he made all this money and we made nothing. Well, you should have read that. You should have read it, because there's certain things that you can say, but there's certain things that you can't. You have to disclose. You can't. Maybe they be worded a certain way, but you got to have a good lawyer for all that. She had to have a good lawyer for all that.
That's the way I look at it. If it's something business wise, that's on you. Now, if Jay owns the artist, and let's say Jay screws over an artist that he has control over, that's on Jay, and I could get that. I get that part. But from the history of business dealings, name me an artist that Jay fucked over. I'm really trying to struggle to find one that he fucked over. Everybody blew up off of Jay, whether it's Kanye, whether it's Freeway, J. Cole. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has success off of. I mean, this is just short side story. I met PD Crack in a club. This is years ago. This is like 15 years ago in Philly. And I asked him, so what's working with Jay-Z like? You know what I mean? And he just said, yo, I can't thank him enough for what he's done in my life, man. I mean, I'll be grateful to hold forever. Like straight up to my face. Like he said that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like that's wild. Like really, like I'm trying to find out, okay, because with Diddy, yeah, I get it. He fucked over Mace, the Locks, Craig Mack before he passed away. He was screwing Big before Big passed. Like he screwed over all his artists and treated them like dirt. Have you ever heard that energy with Jay-Z?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what happened. You know what I mean? Jay-Z
is also responsible for one chick who became a billionaire. It's Rihanna.
Rihanna. Thank you.